Okay, so now that we've learned the product rule of two separate functions being multiplied, meaning f prime, the derivative is f prime g plus f g prime, let's go ahead and apply that. Here's our first example. We have f of x equals 3x squared, and there is no multiplication sign in there, but we know it's being multiplied. So it's 3x squared times sine of x. The question is, what is f prime of x? In other words, what is the derivative? So because two things are being multiplied, and in fact I can kind of add a dot in there if I want to, because two things are being multiplied and they're two separate functions, I know I'm using the product rule. That's how you know when you're going to use it. So the two separate functions are the first function, 3x squared, the second function, sine of x. And I will say that normally what I do actually when I'm working on a worksheet or something, I'll label the first one f, and I'll put an f above it, and I'll put a g above the second one. That did not look like a g. Let's try that again. Okay, g. There we go. Okay, so here's f and here's g. The next step, we're going to figure out f prime because that's part of our product rule formula. So f prime would be using the power rule, and the constant multiple rule would be 6x. Derivative of g, we talked about before, the derivative of sine is cosine. We haven't proven it yet. But anyways, just know that simple one for now. So g of x equals sine of x, g prime is cosine of x. That's step 3. Step 4 is to write the formula out. And again, we can't say it enough. Derivative of two separate functions multiplied by each other is the product rule, f prime g plus f g prime. So, since I already figured out f prime and g prime, and since they gave me f and g in the original problem, meaning the first function was 3x squared and the second was sine of x, we can plug that into the formula. So we have f prime g plus f g prime. Once we do that, pretty much from there we just simplify. Now in this particular example, there's really nothing to simplify, right? So for our final answer, it's just going to be 6x sine of x plus 3x squared times cosine of x. That was the derivative of what we were originally given, 3x squared times sine of x. So that's a simple one. Let's do one where we have to do a little bit of simplification. So we say we have f of x equals square root of x times x squared minus 3. So again, right off the bat, you can see this is two different functions being multiplied. I'm going to label that one f. I'm going to label my second one g. So here's f. F is square root of x, g is x squared minus 3. It's important to convert this to power because we can use the power rule. Square root of x is x to the 1/2. Derivative is 1/2 x to the negative 1/2. So that's step 2, find f prime. Step 3 is to find g prime. That's going to be 2x, and then that's going to go away because it's 0. So g prime is simply 2x. All right, again, we're going to write the formula out for step 4, f prime g plus f g prime. And we're just going to plug that stuff in. So we're going to plug in f prime for f, which is we found to be 1/2 x to the negative 1/2 in step 2, I believe it was. And then we're going to plug in g, which was the original, what they gave us, x squared minus 3. Again, that was the second function g. And then we're going to plug in f square root of x for f, because that was the first function they gave us. Okay? And then finally, we're going to plug in g prime 2x, which is what we found on step 3. And again, there's different ways to do this problem. I understand different teachers teach a different way. This, to me, makes the most sense. And you're going to learn this kind of way is, when you learn the difference rule, okay, or sorry, the quotient rule, f prime g minus f g prime is going to help you. It's going to, something similar to that's going to show up when you learn the quotient rule. So anyways, now we want to simplify this. So this is going to take some work, okay? First of all, we are going to take this expression, which is our f prime, and we're going to have to multiply it into both of these. And we're also going to have to convert this to x to the 1/2 to multiply that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to multiply that original 1/2 x to the negative 1/2 into each of those. And in order to add the exponents, we have to convert this, let's see, go back. We have to convert this x squared to x to the 4/2 so that we can add these. So that's what it did here. And then we multiply into the second term. Let's see, go back here a little bit. It would just be minus 3/2 x to the negative 1/2. So that's how we got that. And then again, we are converting the square root of x to x to the 1/2. Okay, so Now we can add these two exponents. Negative 1/2 plus 4/2 is 3/2. That's simple, so we have 1/2 x to the 3/2 minus 3/2 x to the negative 1/2. And then for here, we're going to have 2 first of all, and then x to the 1/2 times x to the 2 over 2 is x to the 3 over 2. So we have 1/2 x to the 3/2 minus 3/2 x to the negative 1/2 plus 2x to the 3/2. Now if you notice, I don't know why I put that on two separate. If you notice, both of these have the same exponents, so we can actually combine them by adding the coefficients 1/2 and 2. So 1/2 plus 2 is 2.5, right, which is the same as 5/2. But what I'm going to do is group them so you can see this. So they both have the same exponent, 1/2 plus 3/2. Oh no, I'm sorry, I haven't grouped them yet. I underlined the wrong thing. So, but again, we're going to be adding those to 1/2 plus 2, so it's 1/2 plus 4/2. And in this particular step, we're going to group them. So it's 1/2 plus 4/2, which is 5/2 x to the 3/2. And then the other expression that we had, minus 3/2 x to the negative 1/2, we have to leave because it's a different exponent. And that's it. Now, in certain books or in certain examples, you might see final answer 5/2 x to the 3/2 minus 3 over 2 x to the 1/2, meaning they're taking the exponent and making it positive and putting it on bottom. But when you do that, you have to actually go further. You then have to multiply it. Basically, this is a square root, so you have to move it to the top. So for this particular lesson, I'm not expecting you to do that. You can just have this and you'll be fine. So that's it for the product rule. If you have any questions about this lesson, let me know.